Hi, Maui Mamas. This is the CoronaMama Zoom Room talk show. This is brought to you by Maui Mama Magazine. The purpose of this show is to bring Maui moms together here in the Zoom room so that we can share, express during this Corona COVID pandemic time. And our motto here is Aloha, share aloha, not Corona. I'm Angeline Chu Longshore along with
I'm Malika Dudley. Thank you so much for joining us. Our show is for Maui moms, by Maui moms. And as usual, we've got the same format. So we're going to start off with our Actions of Aloha, featuring some moms doing great things in our community. We'll then roll into our topic of the day. This day, or today, it's silver linings. And then we will do our fun challenge. This week, it is the hashtag first photo challenge. And we just want to mahalo the 40 plus moms that sent in their heartwarming photos. It was so great to look through all of them. We'll be featuring you at the end of the show. And of course, stick around because that's when we'll be announcing the winner of the giveaway.
Woo! Great gifts to give away. And now we're going to roll right into our Actions of Aloha with Shannon and Angelina. Hi, ladies.
Welcome to the CoronaMama Zoom Room.
Here we are. I would love for you to introduce yourselves and let us know what you're doing.
I'm Shannon Sales. I started this drive-by photo shoots beginning of May. I was inspired by a friend of mine in British Columbia, Erica Chan, and I kept seeing her pictures pop up on my Instagram of all these drive-by photo shoots she was doing and just documenting people during this quarantine time at their homes, kind of from a distance. So one day I decided I would try it out here, and the response has been really strong. So it's been a really cool project.
And I've got to ask you, how many children do you have?
I have one child. He's 3.5, a boy. Yeah.
And Angelina?
I'm Angelina. I have 3 kids. I actually started doing the drive-by shoots after Shannon put it out there that she was doing it, and I quickly asked her, hey, can you come by my house? I really wanted pictures of just myself with my 3 kids because I'm a photographer and I just don't get that enough. And I just loved the idea, and then just started thinking about it for a few days, and then I just reached out to her and said, hey, I kind of want to do this too. Are you up for me like doing it with you? And she totally was. And yeah, it feels so amazing to be like giving back to people in need as well.
Let's talk about that part of it. So your friend that was doing it, was it in Canada? Was she doing it as a benefit? And then how did you transfer that?
She was doing it, 100% proceeds were going to, it's called the Mustard Seed Foundation, which is similar to the Maui Food Bank. And I was just really inspired by that. So yeah, it started off here as 100% of the proceeds were going to the Maui Food Bank. And once they opened up photography about halfway through, I just continued it and did partial proceeds to the Maui Food Bank the month of May.
I think we both realized that it takes a lot of time behind the computer and a lot of time away from our family as well, just up late night editing. So we're going to hold on to a little bit of it, but we still love the feeling of giving back. And the community really loves that as well. So
I wanted to ask you about your favorite drive-by shoots. So was there a couple that just stood out to you? You know, I mean, we're all going through this pandemic together, and you show up at this house or this land or wherever you're showing up, and who made an impression on you?
I had a couple of different favorite ones. I love the ones that I do that have a story behind it. So I'll show up and this couple had just got engaged and they're in the process of building a new home for them, and they never had any pictures taken yet. So I took pictures of them in their home that was just being built, and I think it's a really cool memory for them to have. They'll be able to look back on that time and remember building their house. I was also really inspired by a lot of people's farms. Like, people have taken their gardening to the next level, and I saw all kinds of different gardens, which was super inspiring.
How about you, Angelina?
I feel the same way. I think the element of just being at home, like people are really comfortable and they also can include their pets, which was really nice. Like I have so many photos of people with their dogs or their cats, and it's just so easy to like have them in the shot. And whether it happens organically or not, it seemed to happen if they had pets. Whereas if we're like organizing a photo shoot at the beach, it's just so much more complicated. So I really like that aspect of it. And yeah, the whole gardening thing, like it's really cool to see that people are getting into it some more, and my family as well, just taking the time in the garden and trying to grow our own food.
Any family expressed how this feels different from, say, a regular photo shoot that they would normally do?
I think I got the same reaction from every single family, and they just all said, "Thank you so much for doing this. We haven't had family pictures done in a really long time, and you're definitely spending a lot more time at home with your family. And one day you'll be able to look back on these pictures and remember that moment and those emotions that you felt in 2020."
I think I just would add to the photo shoot part of it, of it being more unique, is that we're pretty quick. Like we're in and out in 10, 15 minutes, whereas our normal photo shoots are more like an hour. So it's nice for families, especially with little kids, where they just don't have that attention span to really interact with the camera and be present. So I think a lot of families are enjoying just like the quick, get your family photo and we're done.
Well, thank you guys so much for being in our Zoom room and for sharing with us your actions of aloha. We're happy to feature you on the show. You know, that's so great that you're able to do something that brings families together, gives them something that they can hold on to forever, and you're also giving back. It's just so wonderful. So as we zoom out of here, where are you guys zooming off to? How about you first, Shannon?
I'm zooming off to Grandma's house to go pick up my son.
And you, Angelina?
I'm zooming off to shower my kids because we just got back from the beach.
Awesome. Well, thank you
Thank you so
And
much.
if anyone wants to hook up with these two ladies, you can hire them to come over and do a drive-by shoot. And again, a part of the proceeds goes to the Maui Food Bank. And so you also end up giving back by being a part of this, which is so amazing. I did this with Shannon and got some amazing photos. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I loved your shoot. It's so fun.
And they're both wonderful ladies.
Thanks, ladies, for joining us.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye. Wow, that was another part of this theme of the silver linings show. There's so many silver linings that are happening, you know, unexpectedly because of this thing that's not so wonderful. So what's so wonderful is that, you know, we have talked to so many people about the silver linings that they see and they've noticed in their lives.
Yeah, I actually put out a question on Instagram in my stories, and I got so many responses. And there are a few that I handpicked to share with all of you. So the Ohana Mama says, connecting with the Lahaina community while helping with handing out food. And Love and Water talked about her business. She said, we've been able to diversify our business with an online shop and update our website. So I thought these kind of went well with what Angelina and Shannon were talking about, you know, that their business has shifted, and also just this giving back, the element of giving back.
I think that's so, one of the wonderful things is that we wouldn't have even conceived of these businesses or switching at all if it weren't for what has happened. And it just, for some reason, I think there's this inclusiveness of thinking about the community and how we can help. Everyone has stepped forward, which is so amazing. And that, it's not that we didn't care before, but there wasn't that opening for that to happen. So I love that about this. Are there any other comments that you had?
Yes, of course, a huge theme was spending more time with family. So Maria Collar said, more time with the ones I love. Brittany Onaga said, my kids and I spending time with my husband who works 2 to 10, so we hardly ever get to see him. Sherelle Lum said, it forced me to slow down and spend more time with the kids. Surf Goddess 333, my relationship with my partner has improved. Amaili Lay saying more time with the family and better communication. And Hawaii Momo 2 said more hugs and connections from my teen kids. So there are actually a lot of this theme of people that maybe were not feeling so connected anymore and being forced to be in a home together for a long period of time, just you and them. And that, sure, some, not so great things can happen, but a lot of great things happen too, a lot more connection.
I think also because there is that element of fear in the air and survival. And so when you get into those feelings of this could be it, even though we're not rationally thinking that, but there's this element of survival that you appreciate what you have so much more. And so relationships are, re-examined, and children who are not even rationally thinking about it feel so much more connected because they need us. They realize. And it's not that we didn't realize it, but we're like very in the, I guess you could say, reactive, this innate part of our being, our DNA about survival. And that's the beauty is we've come together as families and what really matters, I think.
So eloquent, Angeline.
Thank you.
That was great. I'm just taking it all in.
That's just what I feel. It's all about feelings.
It sure is. A couple of comments I thought were great. These are two of my favorites. So Kailea says, because of childcare closure, I got to see my son walk for the first time. How cool.
Wow. She would have been at work otherwise?
Right. Yeah. Baby would have walked at childcare.
Wow.
So that moment that would have been, quote unquote, taken away from her, she got to experience and have.
So precious. So precious.
And Miller Maui says, my 2-year-old potty trained so much faster than his brother because we were always...
Wow. I wish that would have happened for my child. Especially the second one, where it's even harder. Wow, what a silver lining that is, moms, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of us moms are like, oh, if I could have just timed that.
You really have to be there to make it happen at home.
Right? Okay, and
Such
last,
a silver lining.
actually, the hardest part, thinking back to potty training with the kids, was the driving, right? Because you'd be like,
exactly.
So you'd either have your whole thing, right, like the travel potty with the plastic bag, and
yep.
Right? You had to have the plan. So
potty on the go.
Took all of that away.
Totally. And you could just set that like little potty we set it in the kitchen, and then, it would just be where you're cooking, where you're doing everything.
No one's coming over.
Nobody. I mean, yeah, they can go diaperless, whatever, and just like plop them on there every half hour, right?
Oh my God. I feel like we could talk about this for 30 minutes, but we're going to move on. Okay.
We're going to move on.
The last few comments that I wanted to feature, I don't know how to say this Instagram handle, but it's like diggy, diggy, diggy or something like that.
Sounds good.
Sure. People are realizing they are capable of more than they thought. #growth. I love that. At Ms. Laura De Benedito says, people gaining perspective about what's really important. You had said this earlier. Mm-hmm. And at Sandy Sheets Maui, saying more self-care. 23 pounds down, happy dance.
Wow, 23 pounds? Wow, I think I took hers on. I don't know what happened. I know what happened. I've been like not sleeping, so the anxiety, which we talked about in a different show, but wow. If people have time for self-care, I think that's a real silver lining. And she's
lots
doing
of
her
people
role.
talking about going inward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I probably haven't gone inward as much as I could have, but I think all of us can agree that we've slowed down. At the very least, we've slowed down and we've had some time to reflect, whether that was, you know, the super mom that's journaling every day and really going inward and starting meditation and, hey, all the power to you, or the mom who, you know, just gets a nap in and, you know, maybe gained a few Corona pounds, but you know, you got the chance to slow down and just snuggle in bed with your kids. I think for me, my silver linings have been waking up late. You know, I mean, my going inward would probably, like if I was journaling and really trying to get back on the horse, would be to get up earlier. But it's appreciating just the time we have together, and that I can get up late. I don't have to wake up to bring the kids to school or go to work or whatever it is, right? So just snuggling. And my daughter, who's 4 and never lets me hug her, comes in every morning and she says, "Mama, can we snuggle?"
Oh.
And I think for me too, it's surfing. So just, I've surfed more in a week than I have in 2 years.
That's awesome. Wow. Is it because you have the time, or is it because you want to like just take charge of life now that you have this new found thought?
I think it puts you in a different mode. So just being in a different mode makes you prioritize differently and you do different things. So I don't know if I'm very conscious of it. It just happened.
That's so awesome. Whether conscious or not, we are definitely doing things in a different mode these days. I mean, it's like we're forced to just reassess, and, you know, maybe it's that you really wanted to, but you didn't put the time, put the importance on it. And, you know, you might not have thought like consciously, I'm going to surf because I feel like life is that important, but it forces us to, we're slowing down and we're doing the things. I find I'm doing the things that energetically, even just talking with my children the way that I do, it's just a different way, you know, and they feel it. So all the things that are happening, sometimes they're conscious, sometimes they're not, but we definitely are in a different mode these days. And it is an opportunity to kind of reassess and say, do I want to be doing this, or drop things? And I also feel like we're given permission, you know, because of this. And so it's not like we needed an excuse, but we did need permission to slow down and to stop and to not be in that, on that treadmill of life where I guess it's just society. It's our culture. Like just go, do, and be out there. But we forgot about in here. And now we're in here, and it's wonderful, isn't it?
What is your favorite silver lining for you?
I would say similarly, the feeling that I have with my family. I feel they recognize that something's different within our family dynamic, that there's this deep love and deep care, because that survival piece is there. Even though we don't feel threatened necessarily, but there's something innately about a disease, a pandemic, a virus, and that something's at stake. And if everything's locked down, then we must be, you know, like the feeling is we must have some like dire situation. So there is that fear that actually like propels us into a different mode, which causes us to come together in a different mentality, in really not a mentality, but a feeling mode that's instinctive. So I feel the instinct from my husband, from my children, where we are feeling this is so precious. This time is really precious. And I see the smiles and the cozy and the love, like on the couch watching Netflix, and even the food I make for them, they thank me like it's such a gift. I mean, I always make food. I always have from scratch, but there's this appreciation for every single thing because they're inward too. So I see my children being really inward and thoughtful. So to me, that is such a gift. That's like the biggest silver lining, that it's taken them inward also.
Yeah. Why don't you remind people how old your kids are?
Okay, so my children are 11 and 12. So they're, they're not adults yet, but they are very thoughtful children in general. But they're expressing how thankful they are. Like I hand them a plate. They're like, "Thank you, Mom." I mean, they say it in a way where I'm like, like wow, and it is because
Mama.
well, it's good tasting food, but it's also because of that little bit of fear. So I don't know. I just wonder if there's something to that where to remind ourselves when we're really comfortable, when things are really good, to realize that when we push a little bit to the edge, that's actually good for our families. When we do things that are a little bit more on the adventurous side, a little past our boundaries, maybe that's actually good. I mean, I'm seeing that in this.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the preteen years are definitely, they're a time of transition. So it's good that you've been able to channel it in a positive way. All of us mamas have kids of different ages. And so we're all really experiencing this, even just that alone, on such different levels. There is one mom that we wanted to check in with, Trisha Roy, and she expressed that she was getting outside more. And so let's listen to her video.
So our family, we've been getting outside more by just taking walks. I think it started off with just walks as a family. Our kids have grown up so fast, and their schedule and our schedules have been really, really busy, when school was in session. And we were finding it hard to find time as a family, especially during the weekdays, to really go outside and enjoy the time together. And so when the lockdown first occurred and the stay-at-home order occurred, we started going out as a family a lot to go on long walks. And it was cool because as we were going on long walks in our neighborhood, we noticed other families going on long walks in our neighborhood as well. So we would see a lot of family and friends walking around. It was great to see them across the way, and we'd wave at them. And, it was just really nice just seeing everyone out and about walking a lot more. Unfortunately, I hurt myself kind of maybe about a few weeks into the stay-at-home order, and I sprained my ACL. So I was kind of stuck at home, but I kept pushing the kids and Mark to go out still yet. And I know, like, as I've been getting better, we've also been trying to go out as a family, but with some friends, but to go to the beach and go to places that we haven't been to in a long time, like a lot of beaches we haven't been to, because normally it's hard to find parking, or it's like kind of like really packed with tourists. So we've been to like Wailea Beach. Mark took Nico down to Cliff House and to Kapalua Bay. They had a really great time there. We've also been trying to go to other places where it would normally be kind of really busy, and just take advantage of the fact that there's not as many people around anymore. I know my sister's daughter has really got into fishing, and they've gone out and bought new poles, and they've been going fishing and learning more about fish. Another friend of mine, she was taking her boys out to hike a lot and exploring new hiking trails. So, despite the, I guess the negative part of the whole COVID-19, it's just kind of been, we can't get on with our everyday lives. I guess part of it is kind of a blessing, and I've heard this a lot, is a blessing because we've been able to spend more time with our family, explore more of our outdoors that we wouldn't normally do because we're always so busy doing other things. And that's kind of how, yeah, we've been doing more outdoors these days. And as I start to heal, hopefully I can go out more and explore more with my family as well. Hope all is well. Thanks.
Wow. What I loved about this Trisha's experience and her children is the freedom. They seemed so connected to the outdoors and nature, and without a lot of tourists or people around, you're able to do it in a completely different way where you feel, or it seemed like they felt more one with nature.
Bringing up tourists, since this is the talk of the town right now, right? That inter-island travel is about to open back up, but domestic travel has not yet, and it won't. It's going to be extended past June 30th. And so thinking about that, what I've been seeing or noticing my friends posting about right now is hopping on a plane to go to another island to experience it in a way that they never have. Because if we think about it, we've all been able to experience our own island without the masses of tourists, you know, all over, which, you know, granted, we need that for our economy, but and of course, people are out of jobs, so not to discount any of that. But the silver lining is going to Kaanapali Beach. And it's just sand.
Right.
Right?
It's
And
so
your
nice.
family and other locals. And it's like going back in time. And
Right.
so able to jet set, island hop, and go to Oahu and experience the North Shore like that, or to go to Kauai and experience the Waimea Canyon like that, or to go to the Big Island and experience Volcanoes National Park like that. You know, these places that are typically so overrun with, you know, foreign people that come from other places, to be able to experience that in this way and take this walk back in time. It's a special moment. And I think a lot of local people are really grateful for that. And they're feeling like this is an opportunity. And not only that, our governor and our politicians are actually saying this is an opportunity. You know,
well, they want to jumpstart that economy by having us be out there traveling, buying, doing. I don't know. I think I'm a little inspired now.
Yeah. I know.
I think you've inspired me.
I don't know. I'm still a little like I don't know
a little scared
how I feel about it. I don't know if I feel nervous or confused or what it is that I feel about it. But I do know it's an opportunity, and I know that it's a silver lining. And if we don't take advantage of it now, will we ever get this?
When will we? Right. I don't know if we'll ever have this chance again. I know that's what I was thinking. I was getting chicken skin when you were talking about that, like, it would be the only time where it's just like beaches that are not overrun and packed, and how amazing, how amazing. So it was inspiring, and at the same time, I do have those reservations also about, okay, you know, traveling, but it would be the best time before it all opens up.
Yeah, my husband is pretty conservative about this whole thing, and he keeps saying, if you're gonna do it now. You know, because right now the numbers are low. You know, it's mainly just Kama'aina. The visitors hopefully are abiding by the quarantine rules, and also returning residents. Hopefully they're abiding by the quarantine rules to keep our community safe. And so now is the time. Now is the time to have the play dates. Now is the time to, you know,
exactly,
in groups of 10 or less, and
right,
whatever the rule is. But
I think people are feeling that now. That you know, it is. We are the cleanest right now.
Yeah.
In a sense, and so this is the time.
Hey, you know what? That's a great transition to our next mama, the cleanest, because Lauren, she just blows me away. She's in her early 30s, but she's done so much in her life, and she just became a mom recently. And I interviewed her a while back for Maui Now about plastic pollution. And she was just this wealth of information. She talked about microplastics and nurdles is what they're called. They're tiny little pieces of plastic that go on ships, and then, you know, you recycle, but all the recycled stuff goes on a ship, and then things fly off of the ship, and now they're ending up in the ocean, and then plastic never goes away. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. So I just knew she was the person to talk to about this whole Mother Earth healing silver lining, you know, the planet exhaling. So I'm really excited for you to meet her. Hey, how's it going? I think you're muted still.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, hi.
Welcome to the CoronaMama Zoom room. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. You know, I think we're all trying to, gosh, every time, I think over the past couple months, it's just waves, right? And like every time you think, okay, I've got this is our new normal, then it's just like 2020, just like give us a break. But I guess that's what we're going to talk about today, right? A little bit of a silver
Right.
lining.
Yeah, we're going to talk about silver linings, but first I wanted you to introduce yourself. Let us know, where do you live on Maui? I know you're a mom, so how old is your Kiki? And what do you do?
Okay. My name is Lauren. I live North Shore, Paia. My daughter is 10 months old, I guess tomorrow. 10 months old tomorrow, Kyla Joy. And that's been just a crazy journey. And I think impacted, just as a mom, my perspectives on things, and added so many layers to the past couple of months that we never would have had to consider or think of. But I'm very thankful that she's only 10 months old and still thinks our living room is like Disney World. So she's stoked on that. And what do I do? I guess I play a lot of roles, but my background's in marine science and biology. I am an environmental activist. I was talking about this actually with my mom yesterday. She's like, gosh, you just always have to use your voice. And I said, I do. That's what I do. And just trying to raise awareness and bring awareness and utilize my different platforms. I get paid as the Hawaii Regional Manager of the Surfrider Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization that has chapters in all coastal states throughout the mainland, and we have 5 chapters here in Hawaii. And I oversee and support and help those volunteer-based chapters to help protect our ocean waves and beaches. And so yeah, that's what I guess in a nutshell of what I do.
Thank you. Well, thanks for
job.
being with us. I thought you would be the perfect person to ask about this element of silver linings. You know, when it comes to the coronavirus, you're an expert and you're a mom. So you're like the whole package for what we're looking for. We want to talk about the planet exhaling, the planet healing. So I'm just going to let you roll with that.
Thank you. And I do want to acknowledge, you know, being able to talk about silver linings does put me in, coming from a place of privilege. So just acknowledging everybody out there who has been impacted even more so than, again, being able to speak from a place of looking at silver linings. But it's been a conversation that's been, I think, rolling around in my head and between my husband and I constantly throughout the last couple of months. Again, sort of those waves. Every time you think that we've gotten to a place personally where we're like, okay, we can emotionally handle this, we are okay, and then it's like you just get overwhelmed again, right? Because we're like, are we ever going to see an end to this? Are we ever going to see our families? Are we ever going to connect with our friends? Or as an environmental activist, am I ever going to be able to be out in groups gathering again, right? And doing what we do and hosting large beach cleanups and things like that. And then that kind of brings me and grounds me back to the things that are really positive that are happening. And you know, honestly, as activists and as environmentalists, that's what we always have that in our head. If we weren't thinking positive, we wouldn't be able to fight these fights that we do. But some of the ones when you reached out, Malika, that I've been talking about quite a bit in my circles, are first and foremost, I think our broken food system, which I do think ties very strongly into our environmental, especially here, right? Because of so much carbon, so much shipping that goes into just eating an apple here on island. And I think watching people become more connected and seeing that connectivity and understanding where their food is coming from, creating those backyard gardens. So I think it's grounding us. I think it's connecting us. And it's not, our food system isn't just broken here in Hawaii. It's been impacted throughout the mainland, throughout the world. And I think we're being grounded. We're cutting down the carbon that's used. And I think when you said breathing, that's one of the biggest things our planet has done. It's taken a breath. She's gotten the chance to take a breath. And we've seen that with lowered carbon footprints. Both my husband and I now work from home. My husband works for Maui Electric doing renewable energy. And he was working in Kahului. Now, you know, when we drive our car, it's just to go on a walk in the park or something like that. And so as a renewable energy specialist, right, to now even decrease all these things that we didn't think we could do. We're so good, you know, we don't drive that far, we don't do that much. Now even looking like, oh, wow, we have work to do. And it's interesting because as we're seeing less, the resorts, again, we don't want the resorts by any means, or restaurants or anybody to be out of business, but we're also seeing less load on the grid. So we're actually using locally more renewables, more wind and solar right now because we don't have the heavy loads. So as we come back out online, and I think this was going too with with Molokini, with these places, but estimates of close to 400,000 people yearly visiting just Molokini Crater. And what has that been reduced to over the past couple of months, and giving it that break. So the fish, these large predatory fish, the ulua, the omilu, the other types of jacks that we don't see because they're scared away by boat traffic or people, are now coming back. So I think it's just bringing us all back. It's making, and I will tell you that I have so many times said how lucky I feel to live here because of our sense of community. And when you're on an island, we just have this inherent sense of we've got to work together, and we connect with our local businesses. We're supporting each other. I've had mom friends who are like, Lauren, it took a pandemic for me to start cloth diapering. And really, where are our diapers coming from? And having to go out to Target and maybe not having diapers, connecting with Mele from Kokua Diapering. So there have been so many positive things where I've watched our community come together. At the same time, I think all of us taking a breath and giving the earth her little bit of breath.
I love that. You did touch upon a lot of things that I noted here, the local side of eating and gardening, that more people are doing this and how that's impacting our planet, not being in the car as much, not being on the street. So our carbon footprint, the pollution going down. And also, you save money.
Yes.
You save a lot of money. And then the wildlife, right? You were talking about Molokini, but can you talk a little bit more maybe about the coral or other wildlife around the islands? Because the beaches have been empty, at least comparatively.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious, and think about it in your head as I'm talking through it. But when you've gone to the ocean, when you've gone to the beach over the past couple months and couple weeks, what have you noticed? And I've noticed clear water every time and I'm not saying that it's only because of coronavirus, no one's on the beach, that we have clear water, obviously, but I have noticed in many different circles, people noting the clear water. And as soon as you have the clear water, right, not as many people with sunscreen getting in the water, not as much diesel and boats getting in the water. There's so many things that could feed into that. Our waste systems, our injection wells are not being we don't have as many people utilizing those, right? And with the corals, and what's important right now to remember is that this is an opportunity for us to get a baseline. We always say we need less, we need not to have as much pressure, but to be honest, we don't have good numbers. We don't know what that looks like. So this is giving us a really good opportunity for the scientists to quantify the impact. So we have, look, this is what happens. These are the fish that we're seeing. This is the biodiversity we're seeing. This is what we're seeing with the corals. Corals are slow growers, so you might not be able to see a change in 2 months, but we're still getting a good and a better baseline reading, so that as we reopen, as we invite others in, as we bring back our tourism, we can do it in a way that is ground in science, and it is balanced, and it balances conservation and commercial enterprises. And I don't think we haven't had that baseline. Really, we have like the baseline from the 1970s, but we know this isn't the 70s. And so I think that's been very hard for people to pull back the reins. Coronavirus did it for us, unfortunately. And I think that having that, and now having this baseline, we can really point to and say, okay, now we know what it can be like. And again, how can we open up balanced and in a way that's going to positively impact our community, our commercial enterprises, but also our environment?
Okay, I have 2 last questions for you before we zoom out of here. The first one is, there's a flip side to this coronavirus, that there's a lot of disposable stuff happening. So, gloves, disposable masks, disposable wipes, all of these things. And we're seeing a lot of pollution from that. So I wanted to first just get your advice for people about this waste, or maybe just an awareness about it, just kind of clarify that for us. And then I just want you to talk about your feelings about how you feel about the silver lining part of it, the good part of the planet healing.
In terms of the waste, thank you for bringing that up, because I have noticed, I am on the beach a lot, done a lot of plastic pollution work, and we are seeing gloves and masks and wipes. Just know that the wipes, please don't flush them down the toilet. They do need to be disposed of in the trash can. That can back up all of our systems. And just be aware of utilizing reusables as much as possible, sanitizing them, of course. I use a reusable mask. Just put it out on Facebook. Someone will probably make one for you if you don't sew, because I don't. And just being very aware, because right now we can't blame this on anybody else. It's our trash, and we can't blame it. Oh, well, it was all the tourists who created all of this trash. No, it's us. And so I think that's a really good lesson for us, that we have an opportunity to make sure that all of these things that we're using, yes, number one, protect yourself, but make sure you're throwing them in the trash can or disposing of them properly. And I will say we've seen a lot of big plastic industries coming out and saying that we need to go back to all disposable cutlery and foodware and things like that. We've made really great strides in terms of that locally. So continuing to use at restaurants that have the dishwashing services, that is healthy, that is good, versus this big thing of plastic forks that people are touching and breathing on and things like that. So we do encourage reusables as much as possible and where it's safe. My feelings, it does give me this hope. And like I said, as an environmentalist, I'm only in my early 30s, but sometimes I feel really old, because being in this line of work, you get really weighed down, to be honest. And I think this has, in so many opportunities, given me pause and say, we wouldn't be able to have these conversations if this hadn't have happened. We wouldn't be thinking our local, I didn't know how much our local farmers were producing specifically for the resorts and for the hotels. To be completely honest, I didn't realize that level. So all of a sudden, when they don't have that customer, and now I'm getting a CSA box, I'm being more connected, right? And again, fixing these systems. And I don't think we would have had the ability to really take a hard look at how we could fix these systems. Unfortunately, it took something as intense as this, but it gives me hope. And I see a lot of opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in the CoronaMama Zoom room. As you leave, why don't you tell us, where are you zooming off to?
After this, I'm gonna zoom outside because it is gorgeous, and I just need my outside time right now. So I'm gonna zoom outside.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Lauren.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you. Bye.
Lauren is just, I don't know. I love her.
Amazing woman. Amazing. Just a wealth of information. I didn't even say anything because every time I had a question, she answered it. So just, yeah, I would love to talk to her for hours, basically.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, such silver linings with this planet. It's wonderful. So I did a poll also in the Maui Mommies main group on Facebook, and there were very similar things to your poll that you did on Instagram. It was really interesting. There were things that I felt that I wrote down, and so many people felt the same way. So let me read a few of those to you. Let's see. Tell us in the comments how this has time improved your life. Good to give the environment time to repair. There were more than 50 people who said yes to that. Enjoying more quality time with your kids. 48 people, close to 50 there. More hugs for more connection with your kids. I guess that's the thing. That getting more hugs from your kids is a thing now. It's like they don't normally feel like hugging you. but 30 people said that. Beaches to ourselves without tourists. There was a lot of woohoos to that one, about 25 people. Lists, getting the things done on your getting around to it list, that list that we have, people are actually getting things done. So more than 25 people. Spending less money on gas for your car because you're staying at home more. About 20 people said yes. Here's another one that I feel like yes, yes, yes. No need for a bra. You just wear home clothes. There's no pressure to look presentable for anyone. So, of course, I have a dress on now, but on those other days, sometimes.
Yoga pants
Yeah,
every day.
exactly. Comfort clothing. So a lot of people like that one, about 20 people. People walking, saying hi to their neighbors. That is one that I find yes, definitely yes to. And there were about 20 people on that one. Cooking at home more, that is a big thing too. About 20 people said yes to that. Eating more meals together as a family, about 15 people. I think there's more actually than that because I believe that everybody's home, but it's just they felt like that was a silver lining. Forced to slow down, focus on yourself to change, many people. Got inspired to garden again, many people. Enjoying more beach time with the family. Seeing the community come together was another one. This was interesting. No worries about school peer pressure, bullies, or social stuff with playmates. That is a thing. And
I
when you
got a
don't have to
couple
go
of
to
those.
school.
Yeah. In my
Yeah.
Instagram, I had a couple people say that as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's none of that when you don't see anyone else. So whew, for those people, feeling more bonded with the family at home, seeing the importance of how we can spend time differently now, gaining perspective on what's really important, as we talked about, connecting with old friends on Zoom, FaceTime, or by phone. Kids get to spend time with their dad since he's not working too much, which is one of the ones that you talked about. Intentionally supporting more local farmers and local businesses, which we talked about with Lauren. Changing your diet and exercise, like the woman who lost all that weight. Time to focus on being healthy. This is kind of an interesting way to put this one. Husband's paid paternity leave by getting unemployment.
I actually had that exact, maybe it's the same person, but I had someone tell me that exact same thing on Instagram too. Yeah.
Yeah, like when do men usually get paid to stay home? How
You live
wonderful
in
for
France.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need to live
and
in
to
another country.
exactly. And then to appreciate that time too and to see it as really getting time to spend time with your family and kids. How nice. Kids learning a new hobby, something like a sport or a new hobby with the extra time. Kids learning home economics was somebody wrote in that one. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And a lot of people like that one. They agreed. Relationship with partner has improved. This is major during this time when not all relationships were doing so well before. I know a lot of people who have now reassessed and come together, seeing how we can spend less, spend less and enjoy life in a different way. That's totally with my family.
Yeah.
We're like, we don't need all that. We really didn't realize we didn't, but now we do. Be at home more, focus on being a better mom, as someone put it. And I think that it's not that we weren't a better mom, a good mom, but that feeling I was talking about of like that appreciation for your family in a different and new way. So putting that extra nurturing
Yeah.
in.
Being forced to be present.
Exactly. Yeah. Life-changing realizations. Some people had those. Started gardening for the first time. And volunteering locally and enjoying connecting with the local community.
And I
So,
actually had someone also say something along the lines of the life-changing moments that they realized that the job they were in was not something they wanted to be in. This person in particular was in the tourist industry, I think maybe a hotel worker, if I remember correctly. And they just realized they want to do something totally different, So yeah, I think they're all clearly valid. I have a question about the poll. Can you just select one thing, or are people allowed to select more than one? Because I feel like most people would probably select like 20 of these.
You actually can select as many as you want, and you can add your own. Like
Oh,
if you
okay.
have something, I let people add their own. So that home economics one was one where I thought, oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Well,
So
cool. Well, we are definitely going to have another poll. So make sure you guys look out for our polls on the Maui Mommies face group page. Next week, our show, we're going to get a little bit more serious. We're going to talk about unemployment, but I think this is a topic that just keeps coming up, and there's so much to unpack. So if you have a story about unemployment, whatever it is, if it's about the process or your feelings about being unemployed or whatever, wherever it lies, we would love to hear from you. You can submit your videos to us. We're also going to do the Healthy at Home Challenge, hashtag Healthy at Home. So whatever that means to you, if that is all these things we've been talking about with the silver linings, right? So if that is the shedding of the 23 pounds, or if it's the cooking more at home, or if it's the buying local, and cooking more vegetables and fruits, or if it's a recipe, or if it's walking, or whatever it is, whatever that means to you, hashtag Healthy at Home. We're going to post the giveaway in the Maui Mommies Facebook group page, on the Maui Mama Magazine Facebook blah, 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 Facebook group page, and the Malika Dudley Facebook group page. So you can choose one of those to enter, just one entry per person. So, think about it. We want you guys to really think about it and be involved in this. And we want to feature you. The whole point is to feature you. So we would love to
and
see
your
how
family.
you are healthy at home, so you can inspire us and others to continue to be healthy at home. And Angeline, you've got exciting news.
Yes, so the giveaway for this Healthy at Home challenge is a wonderful massage gift certificate from Ho'omana Spa Maui. So who does not want a massage? And it's a beautiful spa up in Olinda. It's Lomi Lomi is the specialty there, and it's such a treat. So you get a $50, which is a huge gift certificate for a massage.
So we're really excited to give that away on our show next week. This week, and before we go, I needed to mention that we didn't mention earlier in the show with our Actions of Aloha. And by the way, you guys, please nominate someone that you think is just exhibiting those actions of aloha, because we would love to feature them on the show. But Angelina and Shannon raised more than $3,000 through their drive-by photo shoots for the Maui Food Bank. So we forgot to mention
Wonderful.
that. I mean, how awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this week's challenge is the first photo challenge, and it was so great to see your photos. I wanted to show Angeline's first. Angeline, tell us about the photo that we're looking at right now.
Well, this was the very first day that I ever laid eyes on my husband. I mean, literally the first day. I was a tourist, and I was coming on with my sister and her kids to Maui. We took my husband's kayak tour. So we were at McKenna Landing, and you could see where we are. And I had this feeling about him. So I told my brother-in-law, will you take a photo of us? And my brother-in-law looked at me like, why do you want a photo with him? And I said, I need a photo with him.
Wow, what foresight.
I just knew.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My photo is a bit different. So my husband and I went on a 13-hour first date.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we went to see a matinee movie. It was Avatar. Then I think we went to First Fridays. This was on Oahu. We went to the Punahou Carnival. Yeah, I mean, it was just ran the gamut. And at First Fridays, we were watching live music somewhere, and we ran into my friends. And so a bunch of my friends actually got to meet my husband-to-be on our first date. And one of my friends, Leland Kim, who was a reporter at the time here in Hawaii for KHNL, I believe, he is just the photographer. Like he's paparazzi. So this was before social media was super, it was before everyone walked around like this. But
Right.
Leland was that dude. And so he took 2 photos of us. He posted them on Facebook. Of course he did. And so they're forever there for the rest of my life. I get a memory every year. And so we redid the photo 11 years later with the 2 kids. And I tried to do the whole TikTok thing, you know, where you're like in the same, I have the same top on,
Right.
trying to hold the drink the same way. And then the kids are in the middle. So it was a fun activity for us to do as a family. And so I think a lot of our mommies that submitted their photos, that it was also kind of a fun activity for them as well, you know, whether they went, you know, and tried to redo the image. There's one video where it's a TikTok and it's so cool because it goes back and forth between when they first met and now.
It like morphs.
Oh, cool.
Really
and
cool.
Favorite? Which one was your favorite?
I loved the high school sweethearts. It was a span of maybe like 20 years, maybe. It was just, they were so cute. I mean, there were so many cute ones, so many cute ones. I mean, I loved looking at your photos, all you mamas. Thank you for sending them. I really like, just would look at the love between these people. You know, I could just see the love, just, you know, that kind of giddy love, which is so fun. And then when they had their today photo, you still see that love, but just it grew into this comfort of like mature love. And I could see it in every photo. It was so beautiful to see the transformations with or without children. But either way, it was fun. I had such a good time. And so I commented back to a lot of you about what I liked about it. Maybe not to everybody, but tried to get back to you. It was really thank you so much for doing that. That was fun for me.
Yeah, it was so great. I mean, I know I didn't count exactly, but it was between 40 and 50 people submitted.
I think I saw like 95. Maybe that was 95 comments.
Yeah, so there was commenting going back and forth, and some people posted their before and then their after. And so I edited them together so that you can see the before and after side by side. And that's how we're going to end the show. But of course, before we end the show, we need to do our giveaway.
That's right.
For those of
our
you
giveaway.
The winner of the Lehualani jewelry handbag, Kalo print handbag, and the Aloha Modern suede microfiber Maui towel is Melissa Ramos. Congratulations!
Yay, Melissa!
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I don't know what I'd do without you. You make me smile, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon is the snow, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do.